Hi, good morning, and welcome to the November Tiny Tech Training. I'm Bobby DeMontney, and with me today I have Colette Barteau, our CE coordinator. And this session is going to be an introduction to the Montana History Portal. On today's agenda, we will be looking at what the Montana History Portal is, how to get full access to the portal, searching, creating, using, and updating a personal collection, tagging and recollections, ordering a reproduction, usage and permissions, and contributing to the portal. I'll also show you where to go to get help if you need to open a help desk ticket. This is a lot to go over. We will be going kind of fast, so don't worry about going over today. Once we get in there, I'll show you the different places to go for everything. And this is sort of a light coverage of it. We also have a new class, a course in MSL Learn in progress that should be ready pretty soon. And that will give you a deeper dive into all of this. So the purpose of the Montana History Portal is to provide free and open access to Montana-related digital materials. These materials provide opportunities for education, genealogy, research, business, pleasure, and lifelong learning. The Montana History Portal includes digitized historic and contemporary resources that reflect the Montana experience and that are important to understanding Montana's rich cultural heritage. The digital collections of the Montana History Portal may include maps, photos, rare books, documents, publications, diaries, oral histories, audio recordings, video recordings, paintings, illustrations, art, and other cultural materials. The mission is to encourage Montana's cultural institutions to digitize historic and contemporary resources reflecting Montana's rich cultural heritage and to make them freely available for lifelong learning. And the vision is that the Montana History Portal is the premier resource for digital cultural heritage information about Montana. At this point, I'm departing from my slides and I will do this live. I'm going to go to montanamemory.org, which is just mtmemory.org. Okay. So that was mtmemory.org. And I'll take you on a little tour of all of this. Home just returns you to this main page here. That's what that is. Browse All brings up a browsing page to help you explore the contents of the Montana History Portal. Search lets you look for specific terms, authors, subjects, people, types of resources, and on that page, the results can be narrowed down through searching tools called facets. We'll explore that pretty soon. My History saves the history of the searches for the duration of just the session in the MHP that you're using. So once you've closed a page in the MHP, that history is erased if you've navigated away. So a user needs to be logged in order to save things for any duration. Login is where you can sign in or register for an account. Registration is what will allow you to create a profile and use additional features to track your search history and bookmark findings for later reference. And then there's More, which displays background information. It talks about the partners, contributors, some of the resources. There's an About Us section in there, and it provides contact information. Additionally, this is where contributors would go to see their own contributions. So I'm logging in. It remembers me, but normally you'd want to register now. You just do that by putting in your name and email address, click register, and then you should get an email that will allow you to confirm that registration, and then you'll be directed over to a page to set your password. And now that I've logged in, you can see that this sidebar has expanded quite a bit. You can now see your profile and your collection. This is what's going to allow you to actually track and save things and get back to them once you've found something you need. And you will not see this admin button. That's just for me and the administrators. All right, so now I'm going to show you some searching tips. You can start right from here on the front page, or you can start on this search button. To start with, since it's right here front and center, I'll show you on the search page. So you can put in anything you want to search in here. For my example, I'm going to do geology. And let's see. You can either narrow this down right at the outset, or you can press search and then you can do some more narrowing later. I prefer to do it this way because it'll show you all of the options and what you can do with it, but I'll also preview this for you. You can select what types of items you're looking for here. You can narrow it by date. You can search, do some searching for all fields plus content, or maybe just a title. And you can also do all, any, or exact phrase match when it comes to the keywords. For now, I'm just going to do a straight search for geology. And by doing that, you'll get everything that comes up. That is a lot of results, but you can filter them. So this first section here allows you to filter. You can look at all of these various attributes, such as item type, starts with, has the following, within data, or by date. You can also remove all of those filters if you want to browse through all of this. In section, I'm going to call this section 2 right here. You can refine the search by specifying how the portal interacts with those keywords and terms. So that's that all, any, and exact. And then you can refine. Click refine to make that change. Then you have a control page here. You can just change how these are organized. So right now we're displaying in the little list form, but we can make them bigger if you'd like to preview. That can be handy sometimes when you're trying to browse for a specific image. And you can order by relevance, alphabetically, earliest, or added most recently. And then these just let you tab through the different pages of what you found. And then if we wanted to search from the sidebar, you would just click up here, search. It's pretty darn similar. Again, you would just change all of this. One difference, you can see these come all pre-checked. So you'd have to click that to uncheck them all and select the one you want. So I'm looking up audio, all fields plus content. I don't really care about a date right now, and I will do all keywords. And that brings up, I just pulled up different oral histories by choosing audio about all of these different things that touch on geology. Once you click into it, you can play it. It just keeps the picture static and you can hear all of the audio for that. Now I'm going to go back to that search. I go straight across and we're going to explore these facets a little bit. There was a lot here, so I would like to take a minute to show you. When you look by facet, you can see all of the different types of materials we have in there, and then it shows you how many of each. And then you can even click on that arrow again, and then you can select by, in this case, geographic coverage, digital collection, subject, or contributing institution. And you can just continue to drill down. So if I want the geology of Montana and not Idaho, That narrows it down to 27 results, which is definitely a bit more manageable. There's the starts with. So if I wanted it to, if I thought I remembered that it started with a specific letter, the title, I could click on that and it would bring up anything that does. And you can close that facet by clicking the up arrow to give yourself more room. Has the following. If it has something like OCR, or if it has specific geographic coverage that I could, that's tagged in there, that's what has the following would show. Right now, in this particular case, what I have up doesn't have those options, but you can narrow it by that. And again, you can the option to narrow it by the titles, fields, and content, and you have one more shot at the date right here too. So now I'm going to move on to adding an item to my personal collection. And remember, you have to be logged in for this to work. Let's see here. So I just did a search for dogs. And I would like to narrow that down to images of dogs. So I'm back to images, searching for dogs. And let's see. Let's look at Agnes playing with Spot the dog. That's pretty cute. And here on the side, you get a description of what is in the picture. These vary. These are all added by our contributors. It's narrowed by subject down to the actual family in this case. You can see this is happening in Montana, the time period represented, whose collection it is, and it came from the Sherburne Photographs collection. It even gives you the physical dimensions. Information on ordering a reproduction, how to contact the folks who contributed this, and then other related content. That's all here on the right-hand side. On the left, it shows you your contributing institution. It shows the collection. It shows the copyright if you would like to know how to use this, or if there's permissions to use this and how to get permissions. That's all included right there. And then this little bar is super handy too. It allows you to zoom in, which is wonderful if you have fine details you want to see. Sometimes people will write something on the photograph and you'll want to zoom in to see what it said. This allows you to make it a full size. You can fit it to your screen, fit to the width, fit to the height. You can turn it. That's that zoom to 100. But this is what I'm really wanting to show you, and it's adding to my collection. So I just successfully added that to my collection. So when I go into my collection, I can now see Agnes playing with Spot the dog. And if I wanted to organize it, I have a whole section over here where I can organize my private collections. Right now, I have libraries, the Good Dogs of Montana, schools, Stuff and Things, and Women of Montana. In this case, I think Spot looks like a very good dog, so I'm going to add him to the Good Dogs of Montana. So I check that box. I'm going to select the Good Dogs of Montana and add my checked item to the collection. And now, there they are. Agnes is playing with Spot the dog. Now I will show you tagging and recollections. Again, you're going to need to be logged in for this. And I will go back to my search. I already have an example here. He was one of my other good dogs. Stony Beagle Buckaroo. There he is. There's our guy. You can click to show tags or not show the tags. If you want to add a tag, so you would click add, and then what we ask that you do is try to navigate towards the face of whoever it is you're tagging. Stoney's a great example for this because he's got a lot of room here on his noggin. So I'm going to click there, and then I can create a tag. And this is really neat. It allows you to use crowdsourcing to get more information into this platform. Similarly, if you know something about these guys, you could also add a recollection. And so let's say Stony belonged to your great uncle and you were going to say something about that. You can add your story about this and what a great dog Stony was, and maybe a little history about where this was taken or something like that. If you know, you don't get to make it up. And then you just click add my story. And then it even says here that your recollection will be reviewed and approved before it becomes visible. If you have a story in here, you can also delete it if you've decided that you don't want it to show anymore and you have the authority to do that. All right, I already told you what you would need to do if you wanted to order a reproduction. If that information has been made available to you by the owner of the material, you can find it right here on the side. And it was made very clear by one of those other collections. It doesn't look like that's here, but what you can do if you don't see it is you can always reach out to the folks who contributed it. And in this case, it looks like it was Miles City Star. And you can just click on that. Their contact information is available. Looks like the Range Riders Museum is who you would reach out to. They have a home page, and you can click on that in order to find their contact information. And that's how you would reach out and ask if you could use this information for anything that you were working on. And then I already showed you the permissions as well. That would be that copyright information right here. And this will tell you about each piece, what you can and can't do with it. In this case, it looks like educational use is permitted. And if you wanted to contribute to the portal, that's something you could also do. Depending, you would have to apply. So I'm going to copy a link out of my notes here. I will show you that. That's just a form that is available, and you can apply from the Montana History Portal page in our Montana State Library website. Under Services to Libraries, you will find the Montana History Portal. And it has all of the information here, that all of the mission and purpose that I went over with you guys, some navigation tips. And then this is where you can contribute, and there is a link to apply right there. And that takes you to this form where you just fill out your information. It will be reviewed, and then they'll get back to you. After they review it and approve your application, that's when you can begin scanning and digitizing your collection. Then you get to set up a metadata training with the Montana History Portal staff. You upload the items that you've digitized to a folder that was provided to you by the MHP staff. And then you can review your collection on the portal site and get with anybody if something's not looking right. And then you get to celebrate that you've got this great new addition to Montana's statewide digital archives. So that is how you would apply and contribute. If you wanted to see our other contributors, you can click across the top here. This bar is available all throughout the portal, and you can see everyone who's a contributor. We have quite a few, 102 of them to be exact. And we have more collections than we do contributors because a contributor can add more than one collection. So when I pull up collections, you can see we actually have 225. If you wanted to browse by collection that way and wanted to see what any number of these things have added, you could just click right into that contributor, and that page will take you to everything that they have shared with us. And that takes us to 5 minutes till, so I can open it up for questions, and I'm also going to pull up. Oh, yes, Kalea is super helpful for organizing genealogy research. Absolutely. People have sent in some tickets about that, and we don't necessarily help them do their genealogy research, but we can certainly direct them to training tools to help them get around in there. A lot of the stuff I just showed you today, we've got knowledge base articles in, and you can also open a help desk ticket to do that. So that's all helpful. We've got a little help button right here. And these are those help guides for using the portal or a place where you can submit a ticket. This all links to the same ticket system you might be used to for using other Montana State Library services. And you can just click on any one of these to get a little breakdown on what I showed you earlier. So let me get back to my slides, and I will also give you a QR code that will allow you to review how today's session went. Got a lot on my screen after that. Just one sec here. That QR code is right there if you want to scan that or go to that link, and you can absolutely let me know how we did today. And I'm taking questions for the next couple of minutes if you have any, or right there in the chat. And of course, as always, this training will be added to our YouTube channel, and I will also put the link to the slides. They're pretty short today considering how much live work we did, but I'll go ahead and link those in the event on Aspen as well, should you want to review them. Okay, well, thank you all for joining us. If you think of any other questions you'd like to ask after the fact, I'm always around. You saw where you can open a ticket. Oh, there's something. Let's see what we have in the chat. Oh, yay, you're very welcome, Maggie. Well, I will let you all go then, and thank you for joining me. This should be available later on today.